So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to not get command grabbed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a match I had against a zangief player yesterday, and just kind of talk through the match and explain the concept of defending against command grabs. Because the truth of the matter with command grabs is many people are terrified of them. When you're playing in a match versus a character like Zangief, which is what I'm going to be showing today, the fear of the command grab is something that's very well known to both sides of the players, right? For the Zangief player and for you trying to avoid getting command grab. So what ends up happening, first I just want to kind of talk about the basic concept and then get into the match analysis. So this video might carry on for a little while. With command grab characters, they know they have that tool. Okay, they know they have that tool, and that tool is something that they can use against you. Okay, very simple, straightforward. Okay, but the thing is, for most players, I would say if they're a pretty decent wall thought player, and of course there's always going to be exceptions in fighting games as far as how things happen. But for most players, they aren't going to typically break out the command. If they're like a high level player, right? Typically speaking, they won't just start off with a command grab. Okay, they can if they can, because you could just try things sometimes. You know how you play in a match, you could just do things just to see if they work, and they can just assess from there, right? So they can do that, but typically, what a lot of people want to do is to condition you for the command grab. So with that being said, their options if they get a knockdown on you, or even if they don't get a knockdown, let's say they get a dash in on you, it's going to be to pressure you initially with normals, and or if they get a knockdown, it's going to be a meaty normal or a meaty grab or something like that. And that's typically how they'll start to get you used to blocking, right? Because that's what they want you to do ultimately, so they can just command grab the shit out of you. And that's how a lot of people end up getting thrown into this blender where they get command grabbed 4 or 5 times in a row and lose the game. Okay, command grab players like Zangief players love that crap. All right, so they want to condition you to block so they can then command grab you to death. Okay, and the thing you have to realize though is that a command grab when with a player that plays somebody like Zangief, a command grab is actually still very risky. A command grab is as risky as you, if you're a Ken player, let's say like me, it's as risky as you throwing out an EXDP reversal and missing that reversal. Because if somebody misses a command grab, and let's say you neutral jumped on wake up and they miss that, you get a full jump in punish. And if you have critical art, that can literally end the game. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind when you're playing. A lot of players who play these characters is how risky the command grab actually is. And for them to just throw it out willy-nilly is actually not very smart at all. Okay, they have to, a good player will typically mix it in with offense and not just, solely try to focus on command grabbing you, because they can throw away the entire game of doing something like that. So keep that in mind when you're playing these command grab players. So the concept of stopping the command grab, what should you do? Well, initially, I'm just going to tell you to block more. Because here's what's going to happen. When you start blocking more, their attempt to condition you for the command grab is going to be stifled, right? Because like I said, typically speaking, most players will not start with the command grab because they want to condition you to stand. They want to know that you're going to sit still so they can do it, okay? So like I said, they're going to typically start off with normals. But if you start blocking those normals, things start happening in their head and they're like, okay, he's actually blocking on wake up. He's not panicking and backdashing and neutral jumping or back jumping or EXDPing or V shifting or any of that stuff. He's just blocking on wake up. Okay, so when you block, I'm just gonna tell you this: if you have the amount of life, like let's say you have life lead, right, or you just have a lot of life left, okay, I'm gonna tell you the same concept applies to a command grab as it would a regular throw. You know how you hear "take the throw" a lot? Well, I'm just gonna tell you to take the command grab, okay? Just in the beginning of the match, if they want to start command grabbing off the bat, just take it. Just take the command grab, because defensively, that's going to be better for you to do that than to try to escape a potential command grab, right? And get hit with a beastly meaty combo, and then you're going to get put right in that same position again. And this time, the opponent knows, okay, he's panicking. So fighting games, really psychology heavy. If somebody knows that you're panicking, they're going to take full advantage of that. Okay, so I'm going to tell you to block and initially just take the command grab, because a lot of times it's going to be way better than taking a potential, like for Zangief, let's say for instance, Zangief's his heavy kick, right? He can crush counter you, cover the backdash, right, that you were attempting to escape the command grab from, and he could get a juggle into an EX command grab in the air. So imagine if you would have just taken the regular command grab to begin with in that situation. It would have been far better off, right? So so this is kind of the psychology of avoiding the command grab for a lot of people that they just simply don't understand. It's going to be just blocking, taking maybe the first one or two, okay, and just establishing to your opponent, I'm not going to start jumping willy-nilly. It's like, if you want me to start jumping, like, you're going to have to, really force or backdash, and you're going to have to force that. You're going to have to take the risk for that command grab, and that's exactly what you want them to do. Because if you force them to take that risk for the command grab, then you're going to have them in a situation where they're taking a huge risk in order to open you up, and that's when you can start to revolve the momentum back on them from your side. So this is theory fighting right here, 101. So I hope that helped you, and let's just get into this match analysis. I'm going to be going through a set in which it was a 2-1 set against this Zangief player. If this Zangief player happens to watch this match, nothing but respect to you, man. I'm not trying to disrespect you by posting this or anything like that. Just posting that out there. I don't seek to embarrass anybody with the videos that I post if I post something of this nature. So just a disclaimer, I'm not trying to talk shit. So let's go ahead and just go through this match analysis and see. So I start off the match with the fireball because I want to get him thinking about the jump in, right? And I'm trying to just establish normals. Hold on. So I was trying to just establish some normal pokes, just to get him thinking about pokes, just to get him thinking about stuff, just typical neutral stuff. Now, I will say, the fireball at the beginning of the match, that's very risky, right? And a lot of Gi players are just jumping at the beginning of the match. But you can see, I got him jumping in already. He's already trying to jump in. And let's see what happens now that I already have this Gi player jumping in. He's in the corner now. So this is advantageous to me. I get an anti-air jab, mix up, dash under, get a full combo. Now, I just want to talk about what I just did there, too. So you see the meaty option that I went with against this Zangief player? That 3 light button combination was to cover the flex. And I like to get Zangief players thinking about that because a lot of Zangief players, on their wake-up option, they would just flex and then try to get something off the flex, right? So, whether it's a command grab or a normal throw or some kind of normal combo, right? So a lot of them will flex. So with that 3 button combination, what you can do is if they start flexing through that, you can cancel that into a DP or a fireball or a Tatsu of some kind. And typically, like, if you're going to cancel it into a Tatsu, I don't think actually, light kick Tatsu might not work. But you can do like EX Tatsu, but typically what I try to go for is DP, just heavy punch DP. If they're flexing through it, So that's a very solid, meaty option for Geef's Wake Up to condition them to not do the flex. Because if they start flexing and you punish them because you're going to get a 6-hit combination that they can't flex through with Ken, that's going to be very advantageous for you to establish other forms of meaty pressure. So let's just keep going. Whoa. Sorry. So I was just pressuring with fireballs. He manages to catch me with the fierce. Didn't get too much off it. I get an anti-air, mix him up again. Again, I do that option. I just block through the V-trigger attempt. See, and okay, let me talk about that right there. That backdash was a reaction to his dash. Okay, so a lot of Geef players will or even characters that just have a command grab, right? But in particular with Zangief, Zangief loves to dash up. They love to dash up and try to command grab you. So if you can negate Geef's dashes, which you should be able to check them if you're being conscious that he's gonna do it, okay? Because it's a relatively slow, pretty reactable dash. So if checking Geef's dashes is going to be tantamount to stopping any potential command grab pressure. So that backdash was in response to that, but I will say as a Geef player, if he would have dashed up and done stand heavy kick, I believe he can punish the backdash in that situation. But I just did it anyway, just to create distance and see what would happen. So that's what I did in that situation, and it paid off. And here I am. So just and I just want to explain something else really quick. You saw how I pretty much hold on. So he dashes. Hold on. He dashes and he misses, and then I get my turn, right? And I activate V trigger, and you can see I got him teching. I don't know. See, this on the Geef player, I will say it was a bad habit. He should have just blocked. He should have blocked or taken the throw, because now I opened him up pretty good here. I baited him with a shimmy. First I did a jump in. He tried to tech the first time. I did a jump in. He blocked the jump in. Then I shimmied because he was anticipating grab pressure, and I got the shimmy. So you can see right there, I just try to go for a basic mix-up, and now he's panicking. He's panicking. He says, I have to make something happen. He's thinking that I'm going to stay in his face because I'm in the corner. So he's like, I'm just going to throw out the command grab and see what happens. And I backdash again because I know he's feeling the pressure now. I have substantial life lead, and this is basically a guess for game situation. He probably thought I was just going to throw him. But I know that he probably thought that, which is why I just created distance, and now, look. And then I just punished that with just like a little light kick Tatsu into heavy punch DP to take that round. So let's see what happens in round 2. So I'm waiting, trying to be patient. I'll just block the anti-air. I throw out that Tatsu. Now, I know what a lot of you guys will say. Why the hell are you throwing out Tatsu? It's minus. Because I was getting pushed into the corner there. So in that situation, heavy kick Tatsu is not typically a super smart thing to do. Okay, it's just not. All right, but it does have its purpose sometimes. And more than anything in that situation, I threw it out simply because I didn't want to get pushed into the corner against Geef. Okay, so this is a game of risk and reward. It's being in the corner against a character like Zangief, or any character really, is the worst position you could be in. So you're going to be forced to do things sometimes that may not be optimal. They may not be ideal. They may put you in a negative situation where your opponent has the advantage. But it could potentially, you could potentially end up eating a single combo and get out of the corner, or just being in the corner and losing the entire game. So in this situation, I chose to take the risk, throw out heavy kick Tatsu, and just see what happens with it. So so you can see it was doing that to push me in. I throw it out, and more than anything, I would have liked with the heavy kick Tatsu for it to throw me over his head. That would have been cool. So I throw it out. And he actually didn't really, like, he jabbed, but he wasn't expecting the Tatsu, and that was to my advantage. He wasn't expecting me to do it. The reason he wasn't expecting me to do it is because I've actually been playing pretty clean against it this whole time. So when you're playing pretty clean and you're using solid fundamentals against somebody in a match, taking a random risk will oftentimes throw your opponent off and make them, they won't expect it a lot of times. So that's something to think about that you can use to your advantage, you know, because you'll see high-level players. Let me just briefly talk about a player like Ceroblast. Ceroblast is a beast at playing super clean to condition people, and then by the end of the match, you'll see he's doing the dumbest shit on the planet, like full screen Tatsus, random ass DPs, and he's getting away with it. The reason he's getting away with it is because he conditions his opponents with clean, fundamental gameplay, solid whiff punishes, solid pressure, mixing up offense and defensive options, and then by the end of the match, you're thinking, what the hell just happened? I just got full screen Tatsu to death like 3 times in a row. And so it's playing clean that'll allow you to do shit like that. Because your opponent, you're conditioning your opponent to think a certain way, and then all of a sudden, let me just throw fundamentals out the window. So he got a jab off that, but he didn't really get much else because he wasn't expecting it. So I got that, and then he dashes in, and again, like I said before, tantamount to playing against Geef, you have to check the dashes, okay? Because he dashed in because he was desperate. He's desperate to get something started. He knows that the momentum of the match, as of right now, is in my favor. Even though we're pretty even on life lead, he knows that the psychological game is in my favor. So he's like, man, I got to make something happen. This guy, he's, hitting me. So I'm just going to try to dash in and see if I can get something going. And I check the dash in. So right there, 3 lights. And I just hit him with the 3 lights again because, again, I'm trying to cover the flex. So he missed the fierce. That was a terrible fierce. I jump in to punish with EX dive kick. I get the confirm. Get a jump in. See, he was trying to do that again because he was anticipating some just like basic meaty pressure, and he was hoping to do the punch because it has some armor probably to negate that. But I just went ahead and jumped in again just to mix up my offense. And now look, I got him in a stun position. I'm in the corner. I go for the mix up. Go for a run just to get him thinking about that stuff. And right now I'm just keeping my distance. That was okay, I'm gonna sometimes things where a wise person once said we take those, okay? That was that I tried to press crouch medium kick, but EX Tatsu, like I was trying to kind of buffer it. But for some reason my crouch medium kick didn't come out and I just got random Tatsu. It worked. So input errors happen even to the best players. So like I said, we take those. We take those, okay? But let's just not think too deep into that, what just happened, okay? And I just, look at that right there. So he had full resources. Full resources. He could have potentially made a huge comeback, but he was in a guess or game situation. And the best way to say what happened there, because he could have critical arted. He had full critical art, But the thing is, this guy's guesses have been wrong so many times during the match that he just ate what happened at the end. He just took the throw because he was so stifled that he was getting, opened up so much by my offense and all that stuff. He just decided to take the throw. And I took the game off of that. So you can see in that match, I did not get command grabbed one time. Now, for the sake of time, this video is already going on very long. I'm just going to tell you kind of how the rest of the match went. He managed to command grab me, I think, 2 times during the entire set. He takes the next game. and then I take the last game. But 2 command grabs for a Zangief player is not very much, and that doesn't amount to much. So I will happily take those 2 command grabs to take the entire set. Okay, so pretty much everything I wanted to address, more or less, I kind of did in that video. The thing is, the way I was playing there, it was very hard for him to establish really any offense, because of how I was playing. But again, like I said in the beginning, take that advice and roll with it from that. Now, I'm just going to say, just again, taking things with a grain of salt. When you're playing in a match, matches are very dynamic. That's why it's so hard for a lot of people to just simply give you straightforward advice for your matches, because things are happening so quick. You can't just say one thing and have it be the absolute truth all the time in a fighting game. So what I'm going to say is just assess how your opponent is playing during the match, okay? And then make added decisions based off of that, but carrying forward the fundamental knowledge that I told you in this video. So for all you people, especially against Geef, because Geef is like the terror of so many people, and a good Zangief is one of the scariest characters in the game, bar none. So for all those people who really struggle in something like the Geef matchup, in particular with Ken players, because I'm a Ken main, I hope this advice helped you out to do better in this matchup, and in particular against command grab players. And just let me know what you think. If you have any further questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And if you're somebody who's higher ranked than me and you feel like you could add something to the video, please, by all means, add something to the video. I'd be more than happy to take advice. I'm always learning myself. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. I can give advice as well as I can take it. So if you notice things that I was doing wrong in particular that you want to point out, go ahead and point them out. I'll take the advice, even if you're a lower ranked player, because everybody has knowledge in this game. So let's not shut out anybody in particular. So that's the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.